In this video, I'm going to show you how to register the candidate to the portal again. I'm going to show you how to request certain supporting documentation, and then I'm going to show you from the candidate perspective how they set up their registration. As we can see here, these two candidates at the bottom are yet to be set up with the registration with the community portal. What we need to do is we need to go into their profile to then send out the registration link. So we'll click in here. Once in here, you'll click on register as portal user. You have the ability to change the known as name for the candidate, which makes it more personable. That will then change all communication that goes forward to this candidate moving forwards via the email. You can select all supporting documentation here and remove pieces as you wish if you don't need those, say if they've already sent you through some certain documents, or you can select a few. This list will differ agency by agency, company by company. As part of the onboarding is we ask you to provide exactly what you would like as your baseline supporting documentation. This wording also forms the wording in the named document as you download it back out of the system to make it a lot easier down the line so you don't have to rename documentation, further speeding up the process. Once you've selected the forms that you would like to send, you click email a registration invite to the candidate, which will then create a red doctor here, alerting you to the fact that you have sent the registration email. However, the candidate is yet to action it. So let's become the candidate. I've now received the email through from the agency. Be aware, this will have your company's name should you come on board with Flows to Forms. Hi Ben, as you can see, it's changed my name from Benjamin to Ben as I selected, and this will be the same for all future correspondence. You'll be requested to set up a password. First layer of security is double checking that the email address is correct and that it is in fact this doctor that we are communicating with. So it will send an email back to them to reconfirm it is them. This is all instantaneous, so happens very quickly. The candidate will then be prompted to set up their password. Double check that the email is correct. It's also populated a password from a previous go here. However, as the candidate will not have accessed this before, this will be a blank section for them to enter. Reset your password. The candidate will then be prompted to click login here, which will then potentially carry through their password. However, for the first time, it will most likely not, depending on whether they were prompted to save it in the initials phase before. They can enter it, hit remember me, log in, and your candidate is now registered for the community portal. Once the candidate is within the community portal, for the first time, they will be prompted to do a set of tasks which are alerted to them on the front page. So they are requested to add an image of their signature. They'll click in here, which opens up a drawing panel. They can enter their signature. They'll be prompted to do their initials. BM. They will then be requested as a second layer tier of security to consent to receiving documentation through from a specific agency, i.e. you. This will have your name. Once they click consent to receiving documentation, then any requests that have been sent to the candidate in this process will then appear. Navigation of the community portal is here. So the candidate is able to change their signatures if they so wish, or their initials if they're not happy with the initial. They can change that and it will update it. Agent is where they manage their correspondence through from the specific agencies or hospitals they will work with. The candidate has the ability to remove consent from any agency at any time, which will stop the ability for the agency to send the candidate documentation. They can, however, re-register the candidate if this happens by accident. The candidate is also able to update their information in real time, so they can see all of their information here. If they were to change a part of the information or their registration and save, this will instantaneously update your end as well. As you can see, this is now moved to John. So the candidate has requests of documentation to send. So what we will do is, I will show you now how the candidate goes through this process. These are collapsible, so the candidate can do this. It will also have your logo and the name of the company who has sent the request. For the candidate to update or upload the documentation that has been requested, they simply click upload, search for the file, find the location that they would like to send it. If they have an expiry date, which the CV does not, they can update that here and send. Same again. Browse file. This upload document will accept Word documentation, TIFFs, JPEGs, Excel spreadsheets, PDFs, and a number of other formats, essentially reducing the amount of barriers that the candidate has to send documentation. It also has an upload limit of 10 megabytes, further increasing the ability of the candidates to send you documentation to ensure that there are less barriers. Your candidates do have the ability to upload multiple documentation to each set. And what they will do is, if they have multiple immunizations, for example, they will select both or all of the immunizations. Let's say they're in a folder and they want to select all of the immunizations. They will click open and it will upload the both of them. Upload and share with agent. This will then send the documentation back to the agency. Please note, the community portal will always empty of any task. Therefore, the candidate will never have tasks that they have completed. They will only ever see tasks that they need to work on. You will receive an email as the agency to confirm that you have some documentation sent to you, and you will come into the message functionality. You will locate the doctor who has sent you the documentation, and then you will see the documents that have been sent to you. So you have multiple ways of downloading these. You are able to see the document individually. If there are multiple documents, the system will automatically download a zip file for you, which houses the documentation that they've sent, for example, all of the immunizations. Or you have the ability to download in a zip folder, which will download and name the documents for you as pre-stipulated when we do the onboarding with your company. It will have the name of the candidate and then the name of the document, which allows you for easy on forwarding to a hospital, clinic, practice, aged care centre, whatever it may be, or easy downloading and then uploading into your CRM. If you decide that you would like to send on a request for further documentation, you have the ability to select further documents, new requests. This will then send a separate set of requests to the candidate instantaneously for them to then work and send those through to you. The candidate does have the ability to reject requests. So they can decline the request to send you documentation. If this is done, what we will do is we will come back in here just to reset. It will alert you to the fact that the candidate has declined to send you this document, which then alerts you to the fact that you need to decide whether you need to pick up the phone and have a conversation with that candidate as to why they won't send it through.